Randy Pitchford must have gotten bored of trying to incorporate squirting into his magic act and decided to get Gearbox to make another Borderlands game. If he wanted to see a woman squirt, I could have put him in touch with my grandma. So on September 12th, 2025, we get Borderlands 4, Electric Boogalore.
Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks, especially since they're such good size and all.
A game that seems to be addressing a lot of the problems with the third game, notably the writing. Borderlands 3 was plagued with excessive Reddit tier millennial writing. Every single character had to have some sarcastic Marvel quips. Nobody took anything seriously and they never shut up. Every 5 seconds someone was calling you to say some stupid bacon narwhal joke about being super quirky, froyo, about the verges of being a cuck or getting pegged by the 14-inch Black Thunder. If you would slap a big black dildo around with a broom, don't forget to like and subscribe. The never-ending shtick was exhausting, but nothing was as bad as this little douchebag. Most of the problems in the story could have been avoided entirely had this little mongoloid been abandoned in a dumpster as a baby, and her head is huge compared to her body. Duh, she's the Firehawk. It's entirely her fault that Maya gets killed, then she never admits any fault for it. This bitch makes me want to headbutt my keyboard. Lilith sacrifices herself to transport Pandora's moon, Elpis, far away so it won't punch an anus into Pandora. Elpis suddenly appearing out of nowhere causes some space magic shit, disrupting the shielding technology of a prison planet called Kairos, which is under the tyrannical control of a guy named Timekeeper, who uses bolts implanted into the citizens of Kairos to monitor and control them. The second this guy's introduced, I already like him more than the incest twins. She's the Firehawk. We're given the choice to play one of the 4 new Vault Hunters introduced in Borderlands 4. There's Amon, the Techno-Viking, who's your frontline tank archetype. Vex the Siren, who's like a necromancer class. She can summon familiars in a big pussy. Harlow the Gravatar, who looks like a strong crowd control character like Maya was, until she fucking died. She can float enemies in these giant bubbles and shoot this internet cannon. Lastly, we have Rafa, who is equipped with a stolen exosuit that has a crazy shoulder-mounted launcher and these cool forearm blades that slice enemies' wieners off. I chose Amon for my initial playthrough since he and I look almost indistinguishable. The basics are very familiar. You shoot, you loot, you cream. The biggest improvement to minute-to-minute gameplay is the new movement. You can double jump, dash, climb certain surfaces, glide from heights on a cooldown, and you get a grappling hook that you use to traverse distances, as well as pull some of the environment around to create new paths. And for the first time in this series, you can swim.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me.
These additions make general movement and exploration much more dynamic, and it feels more natural than just having a simple jump and ledge grab. Borderlands 4 also changes how the map is structured. The entire game world is now connected directly, with the player able to travel the entire map with no loading screens unless you fast travel. There's no longer any catch-a-ride machines. You can now summon your digibike anywhere you want. There's also some cool changes to weapons. There's a system called weapon licensing, which allows guns to roll with parts from different manufacturers. So you may find a Hyperion SMG with a Torg magazine, resulting in a super fast firing rocket SMG, or a Jacobs pistol with a Maliwan elemental switch, which is the only way to get elemental damage on a Jacobs weapon. This system has the potential to make you consider a certain weapon that would otherwise be vendor trash if it rolls with good parts, and vice versa.
It speaks! What wonders will Kairos show me next?
The firmware system introduces set bonuses into Borderlands finally. Every gear slot besides weapons can roll with firmware, which offers bonuses to your character depending on how many of the same set you have equipped. 1 or 2 pieces gives you some minor bonuses like flat damage increases, but 3-piece bonuses grant bigger effects such as dropping missile strikes or shooting the neighbor's cat. If this was all there is to say, it would be great. This is a good Borderlands game. If you like the series or looter shooters, this will tickle your pickle.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking.
But the biggest flaw that can't be ignored is the performance. This game runs like shit. It doesn't run buttery smooth, it runs like lumpy cum. All of Unreal 5's greatest hits are here. I had to take my pinky out of my ass just to appreciate its glory. I'm running a Ryzen 7 5800X3D, an AMD 7800 XT, 32 gigs of RAM, a fan, installed on an NVMe SSD, and I dangled a hot dog in front of the hamster to get it to run on the wheel. Not the beefiest of boys, but exceeds the recommended specs. Most settings are at very high with a smattering of high settings. At 1440p ultra-wide, no upscaling is out of the question. I can hardly control the game this way. With FSR on, set to quality, it sits around 40 to 45 FPS. With the same settings but frame generation on, I'm getting about 80 to 100 FPS. Setting the Fasseur to balance got me my favorite compromise between performance and picture clarity. but it still feels kinda crappy. The input lag is noticeable, especially in a shooter. I can feel and see the whole screen smear and jizz for a split second when I whip the camera around during combat. I also hate how it makes the gun models look. They have this soft, indistinct smear all over them, which sucks because you spend the entire game looking right at them. Don't get me wrong, the game actually looks good. It's a big step up from every previous Borderlands game. The ground details like the foliage and lush grass, water reflections, shadows and lighting look great. Character models look much less like mannequins, they animate well, but I don't see how this art style is demanding so much from modern systems. I've seen performance reviews of people with 5090s getting around 100 FPS, with DLSS on and frame generation set to 2x at 1080p. That's pretty bad. Gearbox CEO Randy Burgepacher can't help himself and continues to argue into the void at the thousands of people that are having similar issues, telling people to write their own game engine if they dare expect 20 FPS or higher in their cartoon looter shooter. If you've ever worked in a fast food place, or a restaurant with a deep fryer, you know at the end of your shift you have that kind of frying oil smell on your clothes and you really need to wash your face. I imagine that's what it's like being in the same room with Randy Pitchford for a few minutes. In terms of writing and humor, the Borderlands style is still here, but much more balanced this time. Claptrap is the same as always, for better or worse, although he does have some funny lines whether you like the character or not. One joke about complimenting hot dogs actually got a Santa Claus chuckle out of me. The Timekeeper and his dumb friends feel like classic villains. They're bad because they're bad. No more of the cringe livestream shit that the twins did in the previous game. If you're a Borderlands fan, this is more of what you want. It's more Borderlands with some excellent quality of life and itemization changes. But I encourage even the biggest fan to wait a while, at least on PC. There are some egregious performance issues with this game, and just like with every other AAA release, especially on Unreal Engine 5, you're always better off waiting for updates. You can get a much better performing game with more content at a much better price if you're patient. Had performance been better at launch, I would be much less hesitant to recommend Borderlands 4. But in its current state, at least on PC, I would say wait it out for a while longer to get the best experience. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and you can go in the comments and call me a dickhead.